Welcome to 100% Wild, 100% Fair Chase, Volume 11, backed by popular demand, if you will.
Anyone that has tuned in throughout the course of time knows that each one of our video series has a clear and definitive theme behind it. Well, the 100% Wild, 100% Fair Chase series has been and will always be our informational series.
When we first set out to do the 100% series, we were going to do a 10-volume set. We got to number 10 and we said, you know what, there's so much more we can explore, so much more we can talk about. You know, why stop the series here? We love this particular series because it's about information, and frankly, Terry and I feel as if that's probably what we do best, is talk about what we love so much, and that's white-tailed deer.
Trust me, we have made every mistake in the books, and all we're trying to do is convey that information, and maybe you can apply just one tidbit of information to help you bag that next big monster.
We feel as if Volume 11 may perhaps be the strongest in the series yet, and I think by the time you watch the entire DVD, you will agree. There's a story towards the end of this title that will blow your mind. Without further hesitation, let's watch Volume 11, 100% Wild, 100% Fair Chase. Here it comes.
Killed our first buck of the year with a new axe and bow. He was at 50 yards. He was a little jumpy. The does were jumpy and blowing. First time hunting in Illinois all year, so we was a little handcuffed, but we'll be back in the morning. I laid it up to little John to get the snags this morning. Gets the loudest bag he can find and the smelliest snack. Scent blocker does not approve this message. I'm good for you. I'm gonna get the camera off so I can eat one.
Meh, meh, meh.
take giant, baby. I shot through some limbs, but I smoked him. I put a rage in the cake. Thank you, Lord. I double lunged him, didn't I? Yeah. Was you on him?
I was on him.
Oh my gosh. I don't know how big he is. He's wide, tall. My dad's right there. He probably heard us shoot. We were sitting in this stand. That buck came in, eating acorns down there, kind of bumps the doe around. And when he did that, I just grunted and snort wheezed. Called him in. I can't put down this prototype, man. I've called him so many deer with this thing. Thanks, Mark. We smoked him, buddy. First Illinois buck on Jeff's farm. Man, it happened so fast. We've been sitting here. We just had a 3-year-old at 20 yards. Nice buck. That buck come up out that bottom ass down there fighting. He come up through here. I shot him going right between them 2 trees right there, 20 yards. Hard shot, buddy. Illinois way on the board. Let me text these boys. Well, we just smoked a really big deer. Giant deer, about 15 yards. I think he's dead, but now I just get a text saying my dad just smoked one, so it looks like we got an Illinois double. And we're about 200 yards apart in the timber. It's on in the timber. Adams County, baby. We just got out of a tree and it's starting to rain. So we found where we hit him at and we got good blood, so I'm pretty sure we smoked him pretty good. So we're gonna go on after him. We got a unique situation. We are tracking our deer down towards a light. It's my dad's light. They're down there looking for his deer, so this is crazy, but it's starting to rain, so we gotta get on this trail. Just shot a big buck in Illinois. And there he lays right here. We just walked up on him. He's bleeding like a stuck hog. Oh yeah. Here. It's my dad's arrow. It's kind of odd. Oh my goodness gracious. Look at this, folks. Look at this. Jeff shot this deer. This deer's got 2 holes in him. Jeff shot the deer. Put that on me. Jeff shot this deer. He run over here by us, and I shot him. Look at this. Jeff shot him in the shoulder. I shot him right there. Holy cow. Who tags him and who gets him? Oh my Lord, wait till they walk up on this. Turn the light out, short.
There's your arrow.
Look in front of you. Did we shoot the same deer? Are you serious? Oh my God. Y'all, did we shoot the same deer?
Yeah.
You look and see how many holes is in the deer. That's where I hit him right there. That's where you hit him.
How did that happen?
Congratulations.
You just shot him again?
I didn't know he
Oh, he come running towards you.
Yeah, he come running and I stopped him. And we got about a half minute. Y'all get some good pre-roll in we can use.
Oh, we was tracking and I seen you found your arrow.
And I bet you wondered, this ain't my arrow.
So who killed him?
Me and you did.
Dad, I guess get in there with me. Jeez, holy mackerel. 2, 3, 4. That's the craziest story ever.
Ain't that great?
It's awesome. I guess we got to cut our tags in half. Dude. Well, here's our buck. He has 12 points. He went a good ways. We snort wheezed at him, grunted. He made a beeline for our tree. We smoked him about 15 yards.
Me and little John are excited. Next thing you know, we heard some commotion. My dad texted me, said he shot a big one. We start blood trailing the deer, find my dad's arrow. Turns out I shot the deer first, double lunged him, and goes over to my dad. My dad hits him, but I shot him first, so, you know, I get him. Oh, you want to get in the picture?
Yeah, I'm gonna get in the picture. I'm gonna tell what really happened. This big deer right here come by me tonight. He run over there and stopped the deer right
After I
between.
shot him.
Well, I don't know about all this. Stopped the deer right there between two trees. I shot him right there, and Shorty and I go up there and recover the deer. Here comes Jeffrey and them a few minutes later.
Trailing my deer.
Trailing the deer. But the way I understand it, whoever recovers the deer, that's the way. But, you know, being the father that I am, I'm gonna let Jeff claim it. You made a good shot.
You made one too.
It might take both of us to shoot them to stop them, but we get them.
These big deer require 2 shots.
The old saying, "I'd rather be lucky than good," would have to apply on this particular hunt. And I can't say enough about how I was really taken aback and drawn into this particular hunt. Number one, you know, they were hunting in oak timber. They had some acorns there in the ground where does are feeding midday. You're gonna have big bucks in and around them because it's just that time of year. In addition to that, Jeff wasn't afraid to call, and he snort-wheezed and got real assertive, very aggressive. And because this particular monster was tending a doe, he didn't like it. There was another buck in his area, it was too close. The shot looked perfect. I thought he double lunged it. When they're rutted up like that and you're calling at them, being very aggressive, and they're showing that dominance, a lot of times they're running on pure adrenaline. And Mark and I have seen it in the past where we may double lung a deer and then he'll go over and work a scrape. Or he may make it 300 or 400 yards on a double lung hit. And that is purely adrenaline. And that's exactly what happened here. But it was an intriguing hunt, to say the least. I was happy for those guys. What a neat hunt. Father and son getting it done there in Illinois.
Can't stand there, man. Get on out of here. Get on out of here. Get on out of here.
This year, my #1 goal was to try to kill a good buck in my home state of Arkansas, capture it on video. Well, I had just gotten into a brand new lease, and on my very first set of Reconyx pictures, I got a picture of a unique buck that I named Cactus Jack. Well, a friend of mine, Chad Murphy, he was gonna be able to take off of work, get over there with me to my new lease, and be able to film me for about 4 days. Well, finally, on the 4th day of our hunt, the weather broke, cold front moved in. We were gonna get in there, and hopefully this would get the big bucks on their feet. Well, it's Friday, October the 29th, and we finally got the cold weather we've been needing. The temperatures dropped about 30 degrees. We're actually into the 40s now, and for southeast Arkansas at the end of October, that's pretty cold, and the deer ought to really get on their feet and start moving. It's cold, I can actually see my breath. I'm excited. Let's go get up, get in a tree, see what's gonna happen. It's October the 29th. We haven't had a daylight picture of a shooter buck in at least a week. We know we got some real good deer in here. Maybe one of them will come by this morning. We're gonna sit back. I got a new cameraman with me. Maybe he'll be lucky. Chad Murphy. He's Eddie's brother. A doe just ran by. I don't see nothing following her, but hey, something's coming right there. Well, it's definitely a shooter. Definitely a shooter.
Did you get that, baby? Did you get that right there? Yeah! Yeah! That's Cactus Jack, man.
Hey, I got every single bit of it, baby.
Yes, sir! Yes, sir! That's Cactus Jack. That is a big buck. Oh, I smoked him, son. Smoked him. Brick Stewart, that is for you, buddy. Holy smokes, can you believe that? If I look jacked up, it's because I am, baby. Yeah, I know it's a giant. You know it, dude. I've got pictures of that buck. That is a freaking giant. That is a giant Arkansas buck. That is my first big giant Arkansas buck, baby. Yes!
I think Dougie boy smoked him, blowed his heart up, down, Charlie Brown.
You know what I got to say about that?
What's that?
My buck's on the ground, my buck's on the ground. I'm looking pretty cool with my buck on the ground. Horns in the air, bow drawn back, trying to be a cool cat, looking like a fool, acting like a fool with my buck on the ground. We're gonna let the good times roll, baby. I have a 4-year-old son. His name's Eli. Ooh, let me get behind you, Eli. But you better shoot before they go. Hurry. Did you get it? You better shoot. Eli, you want to give an interview?
Dude, I'm shooting. Oh, I just cracked him in his butt.
And Eli gave me this. And he said, Daddy, they said this is for good luck, and I want you to have it. And Eli, I love you, buddy. Thank you. Daddy just killed another Twinkie. Eli calls all big deer Twinkies. Here is the Reconyx camera, and I actually captured this buck's photo walking this trail. And what it is, I don't know if you can see over here, but there's a bunch of tops and stuff that's down, and it creates little natural funnels for these deer to come in and out of, and that's what that deer was doing. He was trying to get out of there, and he did, but he had air in him. Well, here's where the shot was. There's some blood right here. There's my arrow right here. He's got to be done, man. You can just walk. You don't even have to look. I mean, it's blood everywhere. Dude, it's him. Oh my God! He's got junk everywhere. All right. What an awesome deer.
Well, here he is, my best Arkansas buck with the bow by far. I nicknamed this deer Cactus Jack for obvious reasons. I mean, he has got a cactus coming out of the left side of his head. Been waiting all year for this. I actually started getting pictures of this deer back in August, and he was about a half a mile away from here. I actually tracked him down, had to move my stand because there was another hunter pretty close that I didn't know about. So I went ahead and moved my stand, and man, am I glad I did. This guy come in this morning, October 29th, pre-rut, and everything worked out perfect. I mean, 28 yards, rage to the heart. What else can you say? This is a dream come true to me to shoot a buck of this caliber in my home state of Arkansas. Chadwick, tell us about it.
Doug is the best I've ever seen. I don't even like the dude anymore. There you go. That's the biggest bow coup I've seen in Arkansas yet. And why are you the one on camera? I'm better looking than you anyway.
Man, as I look back to that awesome buck there with Doug in Arkansas, I think back to when he was standing there in that tree and there's steam coming out of his mouth, and we talk so much about daylight activity and what triggers deer to actually get on their feet and move. Well, obviously, you've got a couple things in your favor. If it's late October, regardless of where you hunt, that's always a good time to be in a tree in the whitetail woods. Secondly, high pressure ushered in. If you catch multiple days of rain or multiple days of heat, and then all of a sudden there's a big switch and a cold front gets ushered in, that first day that front passes and that pressure is rising, it's one of the most magical times, regardless of the time of the year, whether that's late season, during the rut, early season. That's when those big deer get on their feet and move. But one thing about it, if you miss that first high pressure day, chances are you're gonna miss the movement. Whether you gotta quit your job, lose your wife, whatever it is, make your buddies mad, don't miss that first high pressure day. It is one of the most magical times for a whitetail to get on his feet and move that you will have the entire year. Don't miss any cold fronts because you're going to kill a lot of deer if you don't.
It's our first morning back in Iowa. And it's cold. We're in the hardwoods. We came in here hunting a deer we call Mr. Chocolate. And we've seen that big triple beam buck. I've only got a couple of pictures of him the last couple of weeks, but I've never seen that deer. This first morning in November, we got plenty of time to hunt, but I would like to kill that deer.
In years past, you may have seen us on videos, on camera, doing what we call the big buck boogie, or even buck hawks. But this year, the deer have been a little tougher, so we drew out the buck stashes. The next couple days, you better keep your eye on the journal, because Lindsey's about to light it up. Well, folks, there's been a coon dog sighting in camp. Everybody knows how lucky dog is to have around because big bucks just start falling in November. Let's check him out. He's practicing. Boom! Pow, baby, pow! Pow, baby, pow! Woo! Joe, look at this! Good! Wow! Woo! Die, baby, die! Right there! Pow! Woo! You ready to go get 20 yards? Oh yeah, let's go, baby. Pow, baby, pow. Pow, baby, pow. Folks, this could really get ugly here. Stay tuned. Watch the journal. Inner circle.
Greetings from France. I love y'all. Y'all, I'm hunting a big buck tonight and hope to show you guys some great HD footage of a giant buck hitting the ground, dirt nap, rage in the cage, closing the coffin, issuing one a parking ticket. That is a front coming in something serious. Next 2 or 3 days is gonna be rocking out. buck cruising. I'm grunting at him.
No. All right. Okay. Okay.
Dead. That's a deer we call Uno. We seen him last year. 2 G3s, that's all he had. He broke off everything else. Seen him on that hill, grunted at him once. He kept walking, grunted at him twice. He came right to us. 3 or 4 yards from the tree. Thank you, Lord. 25 straight hunts, and me and Little John finally connected. Thank you. Stud 4-year-old we call Facebook. He's got 14 scoreable points. He's probably been 150s this year because of all his points. He's gonna be a giant next year. 5 yards from the stand. Right on the trail we walk in. One of the easiest tracking jobs we could have. White horns in the hardwoods, baby. Well, here's our buck. Deer we call Uno. We're gonna get our tag on him.
Seen this deer last year about this time, but all he had was his G3s. You know, we just said he's got 1 point, so we just kind of thought of the name Uno and grew a small G5 this year. It's got these pale yellow looking horns. It's a beautiful buck. 5.5-year-old Iowa bruiser. Got a first Iowa buck on the ground. Well, I hate to say I called it, but we got the buck stashes on, and sure enough, look what happens. We start laying them on the ground. Fellas, ladies, they do make these in women's models too, so grow you one out, get you a buck stash, and go to laying some big old bucks on the ground.
Well, we saw earlier that Jeff and David were hunting there in the hardwoods in Illinois on an acorn flat. Now it's mid-November, so things are changing just a little bit. Jeff had been passing quite a few deer. You know, we put a little montage together there where you saw 2.5s, 3.5s, and even some 4.5s that he was passing. And that's the luxury that he has there because he knows that there's the opportunity for maybe a more mature animal if he has the discipline to wait. And he's a disciplinarian when it comes to those whitetails. And as luck would have it, he finds a deer and he's studying the body posture. Sees the deer cruising, out looking. That was pretty clear. What's he do? He blasts at him once, then turns and blasts at him again. Deer comes to the base of the tree, and Jeff is able to wait. That takes discipline in itself. Waits till Little John, his videographer, gets on the animal and then puts the perfect shot on him. All in all, it was a fantastic hunt. I enjoyed it. All I can say is that those two guys got on the same page and did it right. It'd be nice to see them all like that. And see them all fall down from the tree. That was even better.
What deer am I hunting tonight?
Yeah.
Goliath.
Goliath, is that his name?
I named him Goliath.
So who all can shoot Goliath?
Me.
Just you?
Yeah. Me, myself, and I.
Tell me about it.
I'm gonna tell you about it. Here is the beginning of the quest for the deer we call Goliath. We know exactly where he lives. My partner Frank passed him last year. He was close to a 160-inch deer. He was an 11-pointer, and this year he turned into, I hope we get to find out, because I think he might touch 200. Definitely in the 190s. We got the perfect winds all weekend, and this is the first hunt. Bad. I'm telling you right now. I'm telling you right now. Do you know who that was? I know who it was. That was Goliath. Yes. Frank, it didn't even bug him. He just walked away like nothing even happened. He'll be back. November 19th, 2009, I had a chance at a buck of a lifetime, and I blew a routine shot. It will haunt me for many years to come. At the end of the day, there's nothing that you can do except move on. I knew this buck was out there. He's all I thought about every day. We got up there, started shed hunting, and as fate would have it, he dropped one of his sheds right in the food plot where I missed him, and he dropped the other one right around my lodge, like the deer was taunting me. Well, the year goes on and we're heading into the 2010 season, and we start running our Iconics trail cameras, And sure enough, who shows up but Goliath? We were a little concerned. He was still a really good buck, but he was noticeably smaller than the year before. We didn't know why, but that was the deer I was after, period. It was the only deer I was thinking about heading into the 2010 season. Well, as fate would have it, opening day of 2010 Illinois gun season, November 19th, 1 year to the day, we have a perfect win to go crawl back in the same box blind that we were in the year before and go after Goliath.
Well, we're back. I'm fired up. First night of Illinois gun season. How can you not be fired up? So let's see what happens. Hey, Frank, there's a buck coming out behind the bush. Good one. Real good. Frank, it's Goliath. It's Goliath. Is he going down, Frank? Oh, what? Hold on. You ready? I think he just went down. He just went down. Goliath is dead, buddy. All right. Guys, that is the culmination of finishing off a horrible, horrible experience last year. And can you believe the exact same night he comes out 1 year later, and this time I smoked him. And he's down right down there in the grass, and his name is Goliath. Goliath. Goliath is dead. Well, we just rewound the footage here in the box blind, and it looks like my hit's back way further than it needed to be. So we're gonna not go after him now. We're gonna go back and look at the film. Other interesting thing, it looks like this deer's in full velvet, which would be really interesting. But anyway, we're gonna slip out of here, go back, look at the footage, and see what we see.
Tell me a story.
Well,
The story is, Mom, that I got a big deer laying dead back there, and they want to eat first before we go get it.
Who, Frank wants to eat?
Frank wants to eat first.
No, this has nothing to do with Frank. It has everything to do with, you know what, let's give him a little time.
You're right. I'm just messing with you.
The shot was one of his better, but back a little bit.
Hey, I don't know if you've been here all day, but this is Mess with Frank weekend, not Jake. Well, we have waited, how long have we waited now?
We have waited 3 hours.
3 hours. We got quite a crew, all the various deer camps. They all know the story of this deer, so they're all so excited. But we're gonna try and go in there very quietly, just a couple folks up front. It looks on film like there should be a good blood trail. He was spewing it out, so we're gonna go see. Well, here's the situation. We got very bad blood, so we've just decided to pick it up just so we don't bump him tonight and have him run further. So it's gonna be a long night. Well, a very long sleepless night for me.
We've all had them.
We hit Goliath last night. This deer was a story all unto itself, and everybody just got in from hunting, so we're gonna go back and see if we can pick up the trail.
Oh, Jesus.
You see that big brown spot right there? See it?
Wait right here.
See him?
Yeah.
Come in.
Look at that deer. Look at that.
His antlers are all fuzzy.
It's called velvet.
Why do you think he's in velvet like that?
I've never seen anything like that.
No. Well, we knew last night it looked like he was in velvet.
Well, yeah, I mean, he was definitely in velvet when we looked at him in the camera.
Wow, that is cool. Congratulations, man.
Well, Willie, I'm so excited that you're here with me to see the end of the saga of Goliath, or Big Boy as you call him. I hunted this deer last year hard. We had him scouted out and I completely blew the shot. And I'll be darned if he doesn't show up the first evening of gun season, and I didn't miss him this time, and he's in full velvet. He injured himself, and the deer's in full velvet. Absolutely beautiful giant. Great hunt, story of a lifetime, unbelievable deer.
Well, what a phenomenal story about a deer nicknamed Goliath there in the great state of Illinois on Rod Wilson's farm. You look back and you say, what was really the tip or tactic that you could pull away from this hunt to help someone else try and harvest a deer of that caliber? Well, first and foremost, you have to be able to keep from bumping that deer out of there, and they did that. They went in, found the shed antlers, so there was some hope. And when you're hunting under 100% wild, 100% fair chase conditions, which they are, you know what? That's easy to bump an animal out of there. He needs all those elements. He needs food, he needs cover, he needs water, there needs to be does there. So there's a lot of elements that can enter into it. What can you control? Well, you have that human intrusion or that pressure factor. And those guys were able to stay out of some of those key areas, allow that deer to get through an entire shed season, an entire spring, an entire summer, and then back into that fall. A year to the date, November the 19th, Jake was able to close the deal. I was tickled for he and Keith. I know that was one he was wanting to put on the wall. Great job to those guys.
We're going to the best taxidermist in the world, Chuck Watson. That's what you want to shoot right there. Look at that. That antelope, what about it?
It's creepy.
Creepy? Kind of looks like a Martian. That is a stud buck right there.
What's a stud buck?
That's the one his daddy tries to shoot. And I've never shot anything like that. All right, you ready to go home? Put the deer heads up?
Where?
At our house.
My mom said you couldn't.
Jessica, where?
All right, not quite the compound bow from PSE, but we'll get you one soon. We're in Decatur County, Iowa. I spent a lot of money on my farm, but I tell you what, I spent some really good money on hiring a bulldozer to come in here and clear all these cedar trees right here. Make about a 1 acre food plot. It's in a perfect area right next to a huge bedding area, big timber, and it's the first area, it's the first food they're gonna hit on the way out this fall. It's been cleared, we're gonna come in and mow it, we're gonna spray it to kill all the weeds. Middle to late August, we're gonna plant it in a biologic food plot. I can't wait to see what happens this fall.
It's the morning of October 29th, and we're sitting in an old barn, and I hear some Boy, what a great encounter. That boss buck is a great decoy to use. It's so realistic looking. Brings deer in that normally wouldn't come by. I can't believe we're not shooting. Well, I tell you what, we got deer running everywhere. It's November 4th, and I just passed the biggest buck of my life. My hunting buddy behind the camera here, Clem, he's been chewing my butt for the last 5 minutes, saying we're never gonna kill a deer if you keep passing bucks like that. I judge a deer on my heart. If he makes my heart race, then that's the deer I want to shoot.
All right, Jason, here's where we're going in the morning. I wanted to show you. Let's see how these two draws come and meet right here, and they funnel right through here. There's beans right here, cut beans, and all this in here is standing beans. And this is a little bedding area. It's down in the bottoms. It's gonna be real windy, and it should be a perfect setup. So glad you to have you in camp. Let's go kill a big one.
Well, it's the morning of November 29th. Been hunting almost a whole month of November and I haven't killed anything yet with a bow here in Iowa. So we got a southeast wind. It's about 40 degrees. Should be a good morning. Good buck right behind that leafy tree. He's a shooter. He's a shooter. I don't even know what date it is. November 29th. I hit him a little bit far back. He's a nice 10 point. Been hunting a lot of days and been waiting for that moment. It comes all of a sudden. I got my good luck charm. Jason Eads behind the camera. He's been filming for me. I don't know how many years now, but I hit him back. We're probably gonna have to wait on that deer. We actually just went back and reviewed the footage on the camera. And as you saw, I hit him back. So we're actually just gonna sneak out of here. The wind is in our favor, so we're gonna try to be as quiet as we can and just sneak out of here and get back on the hunt V, and we're gonna give it a full day and come back tomorrow morning. So it's gonna be a sleepless night, but that's part of hunting. It's November 30th. It's the day after I shot my buck here in Iowa. We had to wait overnight for that deer, so we decided to hunt last night and we hunted this morning. The deer stopped moving, and as you can tell, it's a lot different day. It's about 9 o'clock, and we're gonna go look for the deer that I shot yesterday. But my cameraman, he happened to spot a dead deer about 60 yards from the stand we're hunting this morning. And we're about 600 yards from where we hunted last night. Looks like a big body deer, he said, so we're gonna go check it out. I'm sure it's not my buck. It's just probably another dead buck or something, but we're gonna go take a look at it. That is my buck. You know how far this buck went? That's a miracle we found this deer. Oh, boy. You know how many hours worth of work he just saved us? We have to be 700 yards from the stand we shot him out of. I called Mark Drury yesterday and was telling him about it. He said he's probably piled up a couple hundred yards. He made it a long way. And if it wasn't for my cameraman, happened to spot a little white belly out of that tree stand through all this brush. That's a miracle that we just happened to pick that tree stand and hunt this morning. We think he's 5 years old. He's got an enormous body. It's amazing we found this buck. We would have been hunting for 2 or 3 days and probably given up because we would have never come down here thinking he'd turn this way. Wow, what an amazing story. I cannot believe we found it. The lost and found buck. Wow.
You know, I think back over the past 2 decades and I look at some of the things I've learned from different people, and I remember early on when we first met Jay Gregory, one of the things that struck me about him was how hard he hunted throughout every phase of the whitetail season. And if you look at what happened with Tom Ware's season, you saw some amazing encounters and you saw some amazing bucks that he encountered, didn't get a shot, decided to pass, but the one thing that he didn't stop doing is he didn't stop hunting. And it's one of the traits that I think is common within every really unbelievable whitetail hunter I know. They're incredibly persistent. They never give up. They don't stop hunting. It's a numbers game. game. The more you hunt, the better chances you have of killing a deer, and persistence is one of those things that you just cannot ever overlook. Jay taught me that years ago. I was always amazed at how hard he hunted, and there's a reason why Tom Ware killed that deer. He's persistent, and he's a good whitetail hunter.
Well, we're on our way to Iowa. We just got off work and we're headed out there. Just picked Kenny up. Kenny's on the night shift. It's a long drive, but there's a lot of good deer out in that country, so hopefully we do some good. Already started spending money, so that means the trip's off to a good start. We just got to Iowa. Never been on this farm in my life, and just kind of looked at the map. I've got a couple hours to hunt tonight, so I'm gonna start on these edges and kind of see what's going on, see if I see any deer or what. I picked out a tree here. We got a creek behind us, try to get this wind behind us here tonight. And just start here and just see what happens. We get in the tree for the first evening hunt, and lo and behold, the very first deer we see is a shooter buck. Looks like he's a shooter, I can't tell for sure yet. He's a shooter, dude, I think. He's coming out of the bedding area, kind of working towards us. I'm thinking I'm gonna get a shot at this deer, but he just wouldn't come in. We've got a long walk here. We actually got to go out to this county road and walk down this gravel road so we can avoid the bedding area of all these deer. We're getting here a little late this morning just because of the fact that we've been hunting every morning for the last week and a half, and we've seen deer, but just not like you think, and we're just tired. So we slept in a little bit this morning. We're gonna go in and get it on this oak ridge above this doe bedding area. And we're hoping we're gonna get up in there and catch a big old buck, cruising the top edge of that, trying to get that wind in his face, checking for a hot doe. What I've noticed, and a lot of other people, is that the younger bucks are the first ones to start rutting and going crazy, but they're the first ones to stop too. The old bucks are the last to start, and they're the last to quit. And always around this time before Thanksgiving and around Thanksgiving, we encounter good deer. So I'm hoping today I catch just a big mature deer on its feet. I don't care what it scores. I just want to get a nice mature buck, 4.5, 5.5, 6.5-year-old deer. That's our target. So that's what we're going after. I hear something. Oh my gosh, it's a big buck, big buck, big buck. He's coming right to me. Yes, yes, yes. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Been rising. Did it in Iowa in 5 minutes. I'm telling you. So I've always said it. When the good Lord wants you to kill a deer, there is nothing you can do to mess it up. And when it's not your time, no matter what you do, you will not do it. And it was my time right there. Thank you, Lord. November 22nd, Iowa, 2010. This deer's tagged. I'm just so excited to kill this big old 8-pointer. We've been hunting so hard, me and Kenny, for the last week and a half. Tim couldn't come out, nor could Jared. So my good friend Kenny Bevins is filming me. Just what a great hunt. We've been hunting hard for a week and a half between Illinois and Iowa in here, and we finally got it done this morning. These deer have kind of been locked down, just not walking a lot. And I think the last day or so, these big bucks started losing their does. And it's almost Thanksgiving, and that's normally the practice with these big mature deer. So we just kept sticking it out. We waited this morning, got in the stand a little late this morning, figured we'd sit the rest of the day. I swear we weren't in the stand 10 minutes and this big buck come walking through and we was able to get it done. You just love it when it happens like that. You put all that time in and all of a sudden it can happen in 10 minutes. So what a great big 8-pointer for Iowa. I'm just tickled to death with this deer. Well, we got lucky. We're not too far away from Mark Drury's place. And Mark's got a buggy, a Hunt-V buggy. So he come out to help us get this baby out of here.
Put her there. That is awesome.
Dude!
He's a stud.
He's a giant, man. Congratulations.
I was tickled to death.
I'll bet you were. Melody told Tracy that she said if Ben didn't kill a deer out of there, I didn't want him to come home because he's been so crabby.
Well, in this particular hunt, I'm going to approach this from just a slightly different angle. This is a little bit of a shooting technique or shooting tip in the fact that Ben is the perfect example as a disciplinarian. You know, many a guy would have came to full draw too soon in that scenario and got hung out to dry. But something he did was waited till the deer hopped the fence. You know, his eyes are locked on where he's landing. You know, when you've had ample opportunities, and Ben has had opportunities at big deer, harvested many a big deer, you know, it takes a while to train yourself. And if you've not had those chances or those opportunities, your natural instinct sometimes is to draw too soon when the deer is either facing you or quartering to, and they will hang you out to dry almost every time. So the moral of the story is don't come to full draw until you're ready to shoot. And that's exactly what Ben did. He first made a move, and then when the time was right and he either got the broad or he got a slightly quartering away where you can put it up through there, that's the time to come to full draw, settle in, and let the arrow fly. And it's a perfect example of discipline right there.
Well, here we go. We're heading to the farm for the actual family farm weekend we have every year before Halloween. Actually, this year, we have special guests Adam and Jenny Wainwright, and their 2 daughters are coming up.
We're stopping to get a little gas. We're headed up to Terry Drury's farm for the weekend. We're going to do a little pumpkin patch, some hay rides for the girls, and hopefully see big bucks. So why don't you join us?
Look at her, she's got the caramel popcorn. She's gonna be sitting with me.
What? Mom, what you got? All right, this is the bunch we got. That's Kim, Kelly.
Let's go.
This is the man.
Call it out, let's move it.
Old man.
Move it, move it, move it, let's go.
Emphasis old. Girls, you ready for a hayride?
Yeah. Yeah.
You gonna eat popcorn and pick pumpkins? Well, there you are.
All right, everybody else. We're going on a little pumpkin rolling so we can come back and get pumpkins.
They're little monsters, folks.
Gonna get me all strawy.
What do you think?
Awesome.
Awesome. Pretty big pumpkin. I'm filming you. Do you know that? Give me the peace sign. There you go.
Can you lift this one out, Matt?
Okay.
I need help carrying it.
You want me to help you? You got a big old pumpkin? Say pumpkin.
Pumpkin.
Pumpkin. Look at that balance job. Multitasking. After this, you're probably going to go show Wainwright how to pitch, aren't you?
That's right.
I got that on camera.
What you doing?
I'm filming. You're right in the shot. You're right in my shot. Old man.
Yes, sir.
What do you think?
Well, I think this is a very productive pumpkin picking party. These were some of the best pumpkins we've ever had. Even though we were inundated with rain this year, our food plots didn't grow, but our pumpkins did pretty well. So we're tickled to death. Kids are having a good time, and that's all that really matters.
Does that say something about John Williams? Or
Yeah,
is
it does. John Williams knows where the importance lies. And the importance lies in pumpkins, not necessarily corn, beans, or biologicals.
Oh well. What are you making? Chocolate pie?
No.
What is that?
I'm just making.
Too much popcorn.
We're here in North Missouri at Drury's farm. Adam's hunting with Terry tonight, and I get to hunt with Matt. But I think Terry is already garling us for the night. He sent us to a stand that was locked. So Matt had to run back, get the key, and come back. So we're really late getting to the stand tonight, but we're hoping to see some big bucks. I've already killed one thing. I killed a wasp.
Sweet pink vendetta.
Awesome.
Even though it's not quite set up correctly.
That's alright. I'm such a good shot. I can shoot at anything.
We're seeing all kinds of action tonight.
We've got the cutest little baby deer out there. They're adorable. But I don't think they're big enough targets, so we're gonna let them pass. Daddy's back there somewhere, I got me.
Usually.
Okay, so we've got another tiny doe in bow range. But I just can't bring myself to shoot a pig.
Be ready to shoot just in case she's looking backwards. Oh, buck's coming out. The buck's coming out. Look, coming right to us, isn't it?
Alright, shoot her.
No. If you wanted to, you totally could. He's 30 yards, he's a little bit. But I mean, if you wanted to, you could. He's broadside.
Sideways.
He's small. Oh, shooter. This one's a shooter. This one's a definite shooter. Coming out straight there. See him?
Yes. Okay.
Just stay still. Hold on.
Broadside though.
He is a little quirky too, but not bad. He's definitely a shooter. Just
I know, I want to shoot him.
You give us the right opportunity, we will. He's at 26 steps. Hold on. He's gonna come in this window.
Should I go ahead and draw?
Not yet. Come here. See him? You can draw.
Okay.
Hold on. Sorry, Jenny, I was completely blocked. I was completely blocked.
Almost let it fly anyway.
That was totally my bad.
Any chance he'll come back out, you think?
Slim, give me a quick reaction.
Well, so we saw a definite shooter, but we couldn't get a shot on him with the camera. So we're hoping he'll come back out, but we'll see.
Were you excited?
He was awesome. He was so big.
Was your heart pounding?
Yes.
He was very big. That's like the stud of all studs on the farm.
Any chance he'll like walk out that way? Like, should I get over?
Very small. Just stand still. I can't believe I got in your way like that.
I'm gonna shoot you instead.
Well, the camera has saved a lot of lives over the years, and we were all extremely disappointed that Jenny wasn't able to connect. That was a fine deer. I didn't have but just a couple of Reconyx pictures, and I thought we saw the last of him. I thought he was gone forever. Well, just like a ghost, they disappear out of your lives very, very quickly, and they can also reappear pretty quickly. I was starting to push the panic button. It was getting into late season there. We were wondering if we would ever see him again.
Well, we're hunting a box this evening because we got a pretty stiff breeze, but the temperatures have warmed up considerably. We were down in the teens and 20s, and now we're up in the lower to mid 40s. We're sitting in between a low pressure system and a high pressure system. We're right in the middle, so I'll kind of be surprised if we see much movement or activity tonight. We got some standing beans, a little bit, some remnants of standing beans, and then we've also got biologic maximum planted in and around the beans. We've planted them right in and amongst the beans.
Here we are, made it into our humble abode.
We're in a spot here, we got some really stiff south wind today, and we elected to hunt this box because I don't have a lot of south spots of an evening. I'm one of those guys, I used to have all kinds of patience, but then I started hunting with Mark years ago, and I lost it all.
Come on, Terry, we're late. I don't like being late. Here we go.
We're on our schedule.
Come on, we're late. Where are you, Terry?
You know, they're hollering, hounding, harping, and I was the first one in the truck. I make every move count. Here I sit. He's gonna put me late. 4:15, we are late. We're late as all get out. Okay, what on God's green earth can he be doing now? Where's he at?
There's about 8 or 9 does on the field right now. Wonder what this little one's looking at back here. Oh, shoot. My God, he's right here, right here. I'm gonna take him out this window, right? On him. He's done. The deer is done. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. We were sitting here watching all these does right out the window, and this buck slipped in behind us. That is the deer that Jenny Wainwright and Matt Drury had an encounter with way back when we had Adam Wainwright and his wife in, and Jenny had an encounter. Almost the exact same spot right here with that buck. He came out. She came to full draw and didn't get him dead. For camera saved a lot of lives. As luck would have it, he pops out here on December the 7th or 8th, no, 9th, 10th. I don't know what day it is, but I think he is dead. Nice buck too. Couldn't have worked out any better. Great deer too. Nice buck.
Oh, Nelly.
All we're gonna do is go in, review the footage, and probably go back out and get him then.
Done. Yeah. He's done. He's done. He's done. He's done. Now we just gotta find him.
Here's the scenario. Felt as though the hit was really good. Went back in, reviewed the footage. Still feel good about it. It was back a little bit, but it appeared as though it was liver. Might be liver lung. So we gave him a little bit of time. Came in. I've carried the trail a little ways. I'm still on blood. Got to the first part of the arrow, but I haven't found the other half. So we're just gonna keep going on the blood trail. That looks pretty promising. What's that right there? Wow. That's what I'm talking about. Look at the tines on this thing. Big, long, sweeping tines. That is pretty. I could not be happier. This is the way it should be. I gotta thank Willa first and foremost. She sent me a text this morning and said, you know, maybe Betty Ann will shine down on you today. Betty was her sister who passed away from cancer a few years ago. And by golly, Betty kicked a beautiful buck out this evening for me. And I passed him at 3.5 last year with Aaron Bennett. And it just couldn't have been any luckier this evening. We named this particular deer the Jenny Wainwright buck. Jenny had an encounter with this particular animal. Her and Matt Drury were in a blind. Matt was videotaping, and Jenny comes to full draw, and the video camera has saved a lot of lives. And it saved this one through October, November, but he didn't get through December. Boy, have we dropped some giants this year. It's been a really good year as far as big deer hitting the ground. It couldn't have ended in finer fashion here in Missouri's archery season. Nice big whitetail. Nice big buck.
Well, in this particular situation, we're hunting an area where the deer density is pretty doggone high. So, late season, what are you keying in on? You have to be focused on a food source, but is there much food left? You know, what's the availability? What do we do to help that particular food plot out? We'll go in and broadcast biologic maximum in that area that's worked up in between the rows and watch and see those brassica plants come up, provided that you have ample moisture. So now all of a sudden you've got this smorgasbord. You've got the beans, the bean pod, and then you've got this beautiful green brassica leaf in addition to the bulb. So you've got that turnip literally sitting underground. You key in on those food sources, what's available, what's left, and that's exactly what we did. We were looking for a couple of particular deer that we thought were there. This one was not a deer that we even thought he was anywhere in the world. Had very few pictures of him, and it was a deer that Jenny had the encounter with early on, but he literally had disappeared and then turned out to reappear on the last available food source. And that's what we keyed in on. We weren't sitting in the timber, we weren't sitting off the food, we were sitting right on top of the food, and it just happened to work out for us.
Well, I can't tell you how excited I am for this weekend. It's my annual hunt with two of my sisters, Barb and Linda, and we've also got Gary LeVox coming into camp. Tracy and Taylor are going to be here, and we're going to do a little MRI tonight. We scattered out across the farm. Joe's watching a spot, I'm watching this spot, and we're going to see if we can't get some stuff pegged down for the next few days. Missouri Muzzleloader opens tomorrow, and it ought to be a very good weekend. It's going to be a fun weekend, that's for sure.
We're here.
Okay.
It only took us 7 hours and 10 minutes. When I slipped and told her that we were going to have guests, because I promised you I wouldn't tell anybody, but I couldn't remember if you said it was okay to tell Barb. So when I told her, I said, you're not going to believe it, Rascal Flats, Gary is coming and going to hunt the same week that we're there. And she said,
Oh, you said you didn't even know his name at first.
you are so full of it, Barb. She said, Barry? And I said,
No, I said, you know how I can't hear. Is it Barry, Terry, Barry, Terry?
If we have a sing-along, what songs do you want to sing?
Mariah.
Take it away, Barbie. Mariah. They call
the wind, Mariah.
Apparently, Gary's still sleeping. It is, oh, he just answered your driveway. Good to see you. What happened? Good. How you? Good.
Love your music, bud.
Well, thank you very much. This is Barb.
Hi, nice to meet you.
I'm Barry. What's your favorite Rascal Flatts song? I mean, I gotta have it like that. Titles.
It's easy.
I think titles.
It's easy.
It's easy. Got it. Ding, 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 ding. Winner.
Day 1, sir. Just had a beautiful 3-year-old 10 come out in the field. He needs 1 more year, unfortunately. He's got real dark hawks, so he's still figuring out what this time of year means to him. But he is an absolute beautiful 3-year-old 10. There are deer everywhere. Look at it, the ears laid back. So we can see it again. Just a hair low. Take your time, buddy. A little low. Ready? Stop him.
You ready?
Aim for the alpha. Well, he's kind of quartering away now, ain't he?
I'm coming. You ready?
Get his head up. Pull back on him. Aim for the off leg.
Ready?
Kill him. You smoked him, buddy. I mean, smoked his behind. Heck yeah! Missouri, baby!
Beautiful 10. Came in, he was all the way down the other end of the field. Didn't know if he was gonna make it his way down this way. There's a few small bucks and some does out here. And I mean, he came in on a string right around there. It's the first night in Missouri. It was 4 o'clock on the nose. It's awesome. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. That's so freaking awesome.
How much fun was that?
Oh my gosh, man. Horde, I waited on. That's the first buck I've killed this year. I have worked too much. Mark Drury, thank you, my friend.
Thank you. That was so much fun.
That was so awesome. Yeah, baby. Yeah. Love it. That's right. Time to go recover the Big Ten. You know, we started this journey last year, and Mark and I said, hey, you know what? We're gonna do this annually. First rifle season. I come last year, first year, killed a beautiful 10-point, and said, you know what? Next year we're gonna do the exact same thing. Our album was supposed to drop in November, and it did, November 16th. I was supposed to be here in Missouri during rifle season, but I had to break up with Mark for a little while because I was dating David Letterman and Jimmy Fallon at the time in New York City. So I'm glad that Jimmy and David and I have broken up, and now I'm back with Mark in Missouri in the snow with a northwest wind on December 18th. And the old Thompson Center Encore, that muzzleloader, that Pro Hunter, just absolutely, he didn't go 40 yards. Marcus, I can't thank you enough, brother. It is absolutely a treat and a dream to come out here hunting with good friends, and to be able to harvest a beautiful whitetail like this is just beyond words.
Oh my God!
How about a hug for Barry?
Oh!
Thank you, sir. Thank you, thank you.
Way to go!
Thank you, Bev.
Congratulations.
Thank you, darling.
Bev.
Appreciate it.
How about a little Jingle Bell Rock? You could hit that one, couldn't you?
Yeah, I got to sing that with him.
What a bright time, it's the right time to rock the night away. Jingle bell time is a swell time to go riding in a one-horse sleigh. Oh, giddy up, jingle horse, pick up your feet.
Take it here.
And jingle around the clock. A mix and a mingle and the jingling feet. That's the jingle bell. Hey, that's the jingle bell. What? That's the jingle bell rock. Woo! Yes. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas.
Hey, listen, I just wanted to tell you, when I was there hunting, I had such a great time. Not only just the hunting, but singing. Let me tell you, you two are gifted. And, you know, if your singing career doesn't work out, I know you're going to make it in the hunting woods.
So, I'm hoping the good Lord gives me a chance. I think I killed that buck. I've got to kill a big buck tonight. Yes! Oh, my first buck.
I smoked you.
If you follow Drury Outdoors closely, then you know how much we love the middle part of December. And there's a few key ingredients that make December special. But most of that planting has to happen in the spring when you're out there trying to plant a food plot that's still gonna be around in the spring. So you gotta have some foresight. If you look at Gary's particular kill there, there's a bean field that was in a new stretch of ground. We planted that field 3 times, we sprayed it 4 times, and finally we just kept after it until the bean crop finally came on. It was a new field, it was pasture. It took us a long time to get the grass killed. But we knew it was in the right place. It was tucked close to cover, and we knew if no other time of the year it was going to be magical in December, and indeed it was. They don't walk like that every day. Any single day, we may have 30 cameras rolling across the country. We might have 1 or 2 guys kill a deer. Then all of a sudden, the stars will line up. If you watch our journal very closely, or if you watch the inner circle, you'll see where everybody saw deer. December is one of the best times to go out and kill a mature deer that you will have the entire calendar year. They've gone through the rut, they're worn down, they've got to get back to food. If you've got the right food source, you can go out there and have amazing success during the latter part of the season. And on top of that, what a great time to be with friends and family in and around the holidays.
It's October 21st. We're just about ready to head up to Hadley Creek. It's been a warm October so far, and we're supposed to get some rain this weekend, which should help get them up on their feet, front pushing in. But old Rusty here, my wife named him Rusty. This is what I took last year up there at Hadley, and we're looking to add one next to him so he can have a buddy down here. So we're on our way, and it should be good. All right, we're heading over to one of the other lodges here, and the Dream Season guys just got in, working men, so we're heading over there to check out the competition for Dream Season, and then we're gonna stay there for a little bit and then get on to our spot.
All right, we're getting ready to do Dream Season Working Man. We got Kyle and Tim in camp with us. We invited them over to take part in our festivities. We're doing the competition. It's a Rage 100 shoot. Should be fun.
I want to thank everybody for showing up here to Hadley Creek here in Pike County, Illinois.
Is everybody excited to be here?
Yeah!
Let's get this competition rolling.
Woohoo! It's a long way.
Where was that one, big boy? Where was that one? Come on!
Got a bunch of tracks, that's a good sign. Just got done messing around with the Dream Season guys, seeing them all fired up, just got their new bows, got all their new gear. They're back there still doing the competition stuff. We're in the tree, so they can, I'm pretty happy about that. We can hold that over their head tonight. Pretty looking deer. And he's borderline. Yeah, I don't think so. He doesn't look that old either. There's another buck coming in. Got a nice 10 right there, but we think he's borderline. We got a 140 minimum here. I think he's a little small side.
All right, it's January 6th. We're heading back to Hadley Creek for our 3rd trip this year. All right, we're about 20 minutes away, and we've got about 3.5, 4 days up here. Looking forward to it. This is kind of my last hurrah before spring training. I'm excited. It's cold. It's going to be real cold, but hopefully it'll be worth it.
All right, we are here on Saturday afternoon. It's the 3rd day of our hunt, 3rd afternoon. We've been waiting for this high pressure to come in. We finally got it. Blue skies, and it is cold. It's a high of 20 today. The winds died down from last night. Last night we thought we had a great setup, but man, it was windy, so it just didn't turn out to what we thought. But we're on a fresh cut cornfield. We're in this box blind that is, big enough for me and Tim that we can kind of move around in here. So there's a split G2 buck out here at 11 Point that they've been seeing pretty regularly on this field, and they should come out straight ahead of us. So we'll sit tight and see.
They're gonna walk right out that game trail. Don't you think?
Yeah.
That other one's a 10 for sure. It's got a split G2, that's the 11. That's a shooter.
So, yeah.
For sure, he's outside his ears, he's tall.
Yeah, he's got a split G2. All right, there's 3 bucks together just come up over this hill. And they told us look for a mid-150s with a split G2. And we're fogging up a little bit and he's behind a tree, but I'm pretty sure that's him. He's wider than his ears, he's tall. I haven't had a chance to look at his body and get an age, but I think he's a shooter.
Fair.
Can you kill him there? No. He's gotta take another. You gotta move over. I'm home.
Fair.
Boom, baby. Yes. Freaking Luminok, I saw it light up, baby. His tail's down there. I see him running. I see him running. You do not know what went into that. I had a freaking cramp. I pulled back, I tried shooting, and he walked the other way. Oh, man. I think I might have tucked it close to his shoulder, but I think he's down, baby.
You drilled him.
My freaking hamstring is killing me right now. Oh my gosh. It was tight. I mean, if he came out any more to that side, we had no chance. We would have to switch everything, all our gears in the back here. And he came out, I tried stopping him. Nothing happened. He just turned around and started coming back. And I put the hammer on him. He was I had him right at 30 yards.
There's the arrow right there. We got the arrows broke here. We got blood sprayed over here on the offside shoulder. And we got blood tracking right there here. We got snow, so it should be a decent track job from my man Jared here, but we're gonna see if we think he's down. We'll see if we can go in and get him.
Here he is right there, baby.
One way after, bud.
There he lays.
All right, well, here we are morning after. We went in and got him last night, got our hands on him. We put the tape on him this morning. He's high 160s. And man, I tell you what, for a January hunt in late season, to have the opportunity to harvest a 160 is just unbelievable. You know, it says a lot about Hadley Creek outfitters up here, the guides. They work the tail off, and man, it's just awesome when a plan all comes together. Just a beautiful scene. Come out and just cooperated, come out in front of us, and I'm just happy to have my hands on him here. And big thanks to Hadley Creek Outfitters, big thanks to Mark and Terry Drury and Drury Outdoors. I'm just thrilled to death to have him. Happy to get him home, and my wife, she gets to name all the animals, so Rusty, the deer from last year, is going to have some company in the basement.
Here's a unique situation where we have Kyle McClellan, a pitcher for the St. Louis Cardinals, hunting Hadley Creek, and it's late season. He had some hunts there early season, but decided to go back just prior to spring training. And as luck would have it, the deer that they're after shows his face during daylight hours. He made some really good choices here. Number one, he picked a high pressure system during those cold late season temperatures over a cut cornfield. You couldn't ask for a better scenario there. Number two, he depended on his guide very, very heavily to say, hey, we've got a deer that's frequenting this field. I think your odds are pretty high of getting an eyeball on him. The part that amazes me about these athletes, they have this uncanny athletic ability. The hand-eye coordination that they have and the athletes that they are makes them highly adaptable to be able to pull off any of this stuff that we do. And his athletic abilities allow him to make the shot. Hats off to a great athlete and a great hunter.
And if the Lord will help me, I'm gonna make a shot at him. I'll be praying, Lord, help me.
A giant ain't the word for it. I don't know how big Goliath looked to David, but this deer looked that big to me.
We had no idea what he was going to grow into, though. It was beyond our wildest dreams.
Without question, the best animal we've ever seen in the wild. What's he gonna score?
For years, we have said that we tell the wildest stories. And here's a story that probably doesn't get a whole lot wilder. Here's a story about two different deer. We could call it David and Goliath, if you will. Here's a story about Goliath. Here's a story about Baby G, a story that encompasses 9 different years. We're gonna go way back to the fall of 2003 when it all began.
There's a big shooter right here coming. That's a giant buck, Jared.
So I shoot Skyscraper. Oh. And moments later, this buck comes running in. I got the camera from Jared, and we just laid down footage of, at that time, a 3-year-old buck.
What do you think of that? It's 9:15 and we've already seen 2 mega monsters, and we're getting down, we're done for the day. It's awesome.
We had no idea what a story this guy would eventually paint within all of our lives. Fall of '04, I'm in one of my favorite sets. It's brushy, and we catch a glimpse of a giant 4-year-old in the brush. I knew who this was. It was Goliath.
He starts out completely in the upwind side of the tree. I rattle to him. He does a complete 180. Now you hear him snorting at us back here. And downwinds us by 100 yards. And he knows we're not a fight, and he's gone.
You get into December, and sometimes these bucks will show themselves night after night. Every night we went to that blind, it seemed like we could see Goliath. He was 4.5. We were not going to shoot him.
You know, not many people are capable of passing a 4-year-old, but that was one that everybody thought could blow into something.
Going into the summer of '05, I had one buck on my mind. I wanted to see what he looked like. Every wildlife eye I put out, I couldn't wait to see if I could catch a glimpse of Goliath. I've got cameras literally all over the farm, but that was the only clip I got of Goliath the whole summer. But it's the only evidence I need to know that he made it to 5.5. You see his frame start to develop. He's clearly on his way to greatness. Now, would we run into him once the season started? Season hits late one evening in early October. Beautiful green field. Our feet just hit the ground. I look up. Who do I see? I mean, this guy is a giant. That late evening encounter left me wondering as I headed back to my truck that evening, would I or anyone else ever see the legendary Goliath again? Well, he's reached the ghost years. He's 5.5 years old. The next 4 or 5 years could be tough. I don't know if I'm gonna see him or if we're even gonna get pictures of this deer. All I know is the frame is there. This guy is destined for greatness. As many people know, in the summer of '06, I actually made a decision to sell my Iowa farm.
Is it in my budget? Probably not. Is it something I want? Probably is. We're gonna do whatever we can to try to make this purchase and move forward. And I'll tell you what, I'm excited about it. Every time I go to look at it, I get more excited.
It was a new chapter for me. I felt good about my new neighbor. He was as much into whitetails as I was. I knew through the course of time we were gonna have deer going back and forth between the two farms, and I think that's important when you've got a new neighbor. So I was excited to see what they would do with my old dirt, and I was sure excited to see what I might be able to do with some new dirt.
The first year that we hunt our farm, 06, we see a lot of nice deer, got a lot of genetics. Can't wait to shed season, real excited.
First shed hunt on our new farm. We're finding a lot of sheds.
We got about 20 people looking. I get a phone call from a guy I met who turned out to be a real good friend of mine. His name's Jerry Hill. He's a great guy. And he calls me and he says, Dave, I just picked up the biggest shed of my life.
Everybody's freaking out. This is an awesome deer.
We knew the deer existed. We didn't know he was that big. Mark had encounters with him. He hadn't seen him in a couple of years. All of a sudden, he shows back up. Jerry Hill's found one side. Now we're gonna find the other side.
So my dad and Jerry immediately form a plan. They spend the next week looking for the other side. Find the other side of this deer about probably 200 yards from where they found the first one.
Had we not crossed the fence in that one spot, we would have never found that other shed.
We added the score together. He comes up with a little over, I think we were at 202, 205. He had about 6 or 8 inches broke off.
Knowing that deer was 200, we didn't know if he had matured that year and what would happen next year. We could only hope.
No pictures, all summer long, nothing.
Much as we hunted, we never saw the deer.
Goliath, for all we knew, he's not even living on us anymore. Our only hope was that maybe we can find his sheds come spring. Maybe he comes back on us like he did the year before and he shows up.
When you go shed hunting, everybody is looking for that one particular deer.
This was like the Easter egg hunt of all Easter egg hunts.
It's about the 3rd day of our annual shed hunt, and
we had one deer on our mind all weekend. And when I topped that ridge, you seen that thing laying in that flat?
All I can remember is my mind's eye is like a scene out of Gladiator.
I picked it up. I went to screaming.
I can see Bobby about 500 yards away on the top of a big hill. He holds up this giant shed, starts screaming. Immediately in my mind, I knew it was Goliath.
We got over and looked at that thing. I mean, it was incredible.
We just knew that we just found the ghost that we've been chasing for the past 2 or 3 years.
Word got out, I guess, and then we found out that the neighbor to the north had found a big shed, so.
He stops by the house, it's Goliath.
I think his size scored 119. Ours was pretty close to match it, so that would have put Goliath somewhere in that 250 range.
Well, now we're starting to formulate a plan for 08. You know, is he really gonna get bigger? I mean, I don't know if he's gonna get bigger. Most of the time, you know, what we see, 6 or 7, they peak, and you know, after that, you know, let's just hope they stay pretty close to that, but there's no guarantee.
You know, the season of 08, this guy has turned into a ghost. We're wondering if he's still around, but a new superstar has emerged.
Well, all of a sudden, Brother Mark starts piling up pics of this giant deer.
We nicknamed him Baby G, Baby Goliath. Incredible potential for another giant in the making as far as I was concerned.
Now it was a matter of finding his sheds. How big were they going to be? Would they be intact? Would we be able to find both sides?
David finds Baby G's match set, and all of a sudden our attention has turned to him. We couldn't wait till the following summer to see if he was still around and to see what he might turn into. That summer,
we never saw Goliath.
Is he still alive?
Maybe he left us. I don't know what happened.
So now, all the attention was refocused. There was a new light, new kid in town, and everybody was looking for him. Well, the pics started pouring in. Mark had picture after picture after picture.
Baby G was addicted to the cameras. I mean, this guy had just blown. Points were dropping out everywhere.
Baby G had went from 145-inch 10-pointer to now he's in the probably 190s.
Mid-190s as a 4-year-old, that would tell you this was another miniature Goliath.
I thought he was 4.5. At the oldest, I thought he was 5.5 that year.
Then, mid-November,
he's back.
Goliath shows up.
And he's got a surprise this year. He's got double drop tines, and he is beautiful. I mean, he looks even bigger than his sheds. All of our attention focuses on this buck right now.
Well, it's December the 28th, 2009. I'm going to a box blind. I have a muzzleloader tag. I'm by myself. I take my camera. I take my muzzleloader. Never thinking that Goliath's gonna come out in that field. So I'm sitting in this field and I'm videoing a bunch of deer coming out. It's starting to get a little later in the afternoon, and I look down there in the woods, and lo and behold, I mean, this guy steps up out of the timber, and he's like a giant, ain't the word for it.
It's Goliath. And if the Lord will help me, I'm gonna make a shot at him. This is the deer I've been looking for all year. He is a monster. Wow. He's coming right to the field right now. He's coming right to my box stand. And he is a monster. He is a monster. He's big. I just hope I can hold this sucker still and get a shot off at him.
You know, he's 150, 200 yards away, and I let him keep walking, and he comes into probably 80 yards. You know, I'm trying to hold it together. I'm trying to get good footage of him and trying to get him killed too.
He's a deer of a lifetime. Coming closer. Don't mess this up, Dave. Don't mess this up.
He comes in, and he's digging around in the beans, and I'm excited, really excited. I don't know exactly where I hit him. I think I hit him a little high. After we got out and looked the next morning and I didn't find no blood, I was disappointed.
There's no doubt in my mind, had he not been filming, he'd have killed that deer.
From one whitetail hunter to another, that's the toughest of scenarios you could possibly ask for, David. I really felt for you, buddy.
Then the following day, the news gets worse. Goliath is dead. A hunter on a neighboring farm north and west of there, probably, I don't know, 3/4 of a mile, gets permission, walks in there, runs into Goliath, and shoots him with a muzzleloader. Has no idea who the deer is, no idea of the history. All he knows is he's got one of the biggest non-typicals in Iowa history with a muzzleloader. I believe the biggest, 239 or 241, just this giant buck.
You know, I had my opportunity to kill him and I didn't get him killed. To say I was disappointed, you know, it'd really be an understatement. I mean, here I had the new state record right in front of me, and I didn't get the job done. I was really disappointed at myself.
What a story, and it closes the book on him. Not the ending we had all hoped for, but there's a hunter somewhere right now that's smiling going, man, what a deer. I still feel bad for David Lindsey. He had him in his grasp, David and Goliath, and looked like Goliath won that battle, unfortunately. So now all attention is on one deer, and that's Baby G. That spring, Aaron Bennett finds one side to Baby G.
I'm walking down a trail. I look up ahead and I see the largest shed I have ever seen in my life. I didn't even really know what to say. I knew immediately what deer it was, and I just couldn't wait to show it to Mark.
That is awesome. Baby G.
Through the previous 2 years, I had literally hundreds of pictures of Baby G, and going into the summer, I have zero Baby G. And then Jeff Lindsey says,
he's showing up on my cameras everywhere. I'm talking about he's on every one of them pretty much 2 or 3 times a week.
And I'm like, well, he's dispersed. He's not on my farm anymore. And I kind of gave up on him, to be honest with you. So by October 27th, I'm tagged out. And as we were tracking the buck that I call Treat, I pull a card. I go back and check the pictures, and guess who's all over it? He's back, and he's all over this camera, and I'm out of tags. Luckily, I know somebody who happens to have one.
Now I had a hall pass. I was able to get into some of the sets that he'd been wanting to get into all year.
So the evening of November the 4th, Terry and I head up to Iowa. We had a west wind on the morning of November the 5th, and Mark had the perfect place to set us.
He said, be on your guard. If you're gonna see Baby G, you'll see him right here. Well, barely getting a tree, and all of a sudden we look over and see an animal approaching, a big animal. Ryan and I were having some communication issues. Little did I know that he was rolling that whole time that Baby G was in the scrape.
Merp, merp.
Well, he didn't stop at that particular point. He got into the brush.
We repositioned ourselves. I swung around the other side of the tree, and Terry let down to reposition himself for the shot.
And as luck would have it, in lieu of walking through the fence row in the brush, he decides to turn and come out the exact same way that he went in.
Merp, merp, merp.
One of those deals where the camera saves the life of a world-class whitetail. Well, we just had the opportunity of a lifetime. We let him slip through our fingers. And we botched that up.
All right, here's the skinny. Here's the scenario. Everybody and their brother is going to want to know why I didn't shoot that deer. And the old saying, think long, think wrong, probably applied, but I did not want to mess him up. He comes out, he gets his butt to me, he walks straight away for a few yards. I'm not 100% certain of the yardage. I felt as though I didn't have time to get a rangefinder on him, so I was guessing a little bit. The perfect opportunity for a shot. He turns broadside, if not quartering away just a little bit. So at full draw, I came above his back, went down, and my mistake was going above his back for the second time and going back down again. And I had some issues. It was still low light. I was having a little bit of trouble seeing my pins. I didn't want to mess up this shot. If there ever was a time that I was going to aim and make the perfect shot, it was right now, this moment in time. So I took just a little bit too long to think about it, truly.
Just didn't work today, not today.
Man, felt bad for Terry. There he was. I mean, this gigantic world-class deer, and he just didn't want to make a bad shot. Hats off.
Man, oh man. Life is just full of ups and downs for me, boy. I could have had him. Could have, would have, should have, would have, should have, could have.
Now, the rut comes and goes. I check all my cameras, and Baby G is literally on every one of them.
Well, now the scenario's changed just a little bit.
Going into the late season, my confidence is really high.
And I know Mark's gonna dedicate hour after hour trying to harvest that particular animal.
Because this is a chance of a lifetime. I mean, this buck, in my estimation, he was 220-ish, and there was no way I was gonna pull the trigger on any other deer. I actually created a map, and I looked at every single picture, every event that I'd ever had of this buck across the last 3 years. And all total, it was like 46 or 47 different times I'd taken his photo, literally thousands of pictures I had snapped of him, and that's the one deer we're gonna set our sights on. The season rolls on, and I've seen some magnificent deer, but no signs of Baby G yet again.
Most guys, these are once-in-a-lifetime deer, and he's passed them with regularity. He's went certifiably mad on us.
Still holding out for Baby G. I don't know how many nights this is we've hunted him, but it's a lot.
All total, between scouting and hunting Baby G, I probably spent 50 or 60 nights looking for that deer. So now I'm scratching my head during the season going, what happened to him? Was he just rutting on the farm this year? Did he go back to his summer range where Jeff and David had gotten all those pictures? And I'm wondering, maybe the Lindseys are seeing him.
Well, it's late December, Iowa muzzleloader season, and we're sitting here in a box blind, right off the end of a cornfield. Everything should be in our favor. Let's just hope he shows up.
We knew if Baby G was gonna move, there was a good chance of it happening this afternoon.
About an hour before dark, who shows up in that bottom but Baby G? John, it's Baby G. He's right there. You better get a game plan right quick, son. Don't move, no, man, no. And he stands there for about 45 minutes. And then he starts coming up to the cornfield. I mean, picture perfect. What do you think I should do? You take your time and ease the shot. Ease the trigger. Huh? Just don't. Yeah, you're going walking away. I'm shaking like a leaf. Honestly, my heart is pounding, and every time my heart pounds, my scope that is on that deer moves a half inch or an inch, it looks like. You're gonna have to stop him. Yeah? He's facing us. He's cornering to us, David. Just take your time. You're okay. Okay. He turns. Okay. He bait it down. I was just fixing to shoot him. We're sitting there thinking, you know, he's gonna get up. John's like, you on a grunt? I'm like, no, let's just play it cool. I don't want him to even know we're here. And we sit there, and he don't stand up, but I'm trying to be patient, make the right decision, not do nothing stupid. Nope, it's too late.
I was ready, David was ready, but Baby G wasn't ready to die.
Well, I'm not gonna sit around here and be depressed. I'm gonna try to figure out how to kill this deer. The wind's changing, the temperature's getting cold, we're gonna have to be creative. After we got the ground blind set up, I decided that's where we was going.
Well, the afternoon goes on and big deer start showing up.
We kept looking out the front where Baby G had come from before. And we was sitting there and, you know, just kept sitting there. It was getting later, more deer coming in the field.
And David said, well, you might want to check out to your right. And when I did, all I seen was antlers about 80 yards from us.
Sure enough, it was Baby G right there in the field.
Well, he come out in the worst possible spot he could have came out. He come out right to my right and Dave was on my left.
We started shuffling stuff around and trying to be quiet. We had to take the camera off the tripod. And Matt's a new camera guy. He ain't got a whole lot of experience with this thing. Sit down right there, sit down. See that deer right there with his horn? You gotta get on him now. I did not want that deer to get away again. I mean, it was just like the next minute was it was so critical of what was gonna happen to be the turnout of Baby G. See it, big bump. Right
Well, there's 4 deer standing right over this little rise, one being Baby G. I can't determine which one's him and which one's not. He's got his head down. I can't see which one's him.
I'm saying, get on him, Matt, get on him. And Matt's like, I can't find him, I can't find him. I wasn't gonna let Baby G get away if I could help it this time. He was trying to get on him, and I said, I'm fixing to kill him.
That night, January 1st, I heard that shot go off, and I knew what happened. I looked at Joe Foster and I said, Baby G just died.
My gut tells me that was Baby G. Came straight from where David hunts. Hope and pray. Thank the Lord I got a shot. Let's just hope and pray that we got him. Hope we got him on film good enough that we can share him with everybody too, so stay tuned.
I hope there's a good reason behind this.
You know they are, brother.
Oh,
yeah.
Did you really?
Oh, yeah.
No, you didn't.
We heard a shot.
Oh, my God. Golly, good.
Well, I didn't see him go down, but he's shot. So we hope we're going to go down there and find some blood, and we're going to go right down there and track him, and we won't go get him without Jeffrey, though.
Oh, my Lord.
Oh, my God.
Oh! Oh, my Lord. This joker right here. Oh, my Lord. Oh, Lord. Oh, thank you, Lord.
Well, it's 12:30, January the 2nd. My suspicion in that blind last night was correct. I thought Baby G had been shot, and indeed he has. And I can't wait to go give David Lindsey a big hug and a pat on the back, man.
End of the day, my dad made a perfect shot. He truly redeemed himself, and I couldn't be any happier. You know, going forward, how do you top this? I don't know.
I was tickled to death to hear that he had harvested Baby G, particularly after the bad luck he had with Goliath.
I just want to thank the good Lord that He's given us the opportunity to be able to live in a place that has deer, that something we love to do so much that we get to spend our time to do it, and I want to give Him all the credit.
I think it was fitting, particularly with the way it went down with he and Goliath. Here it is a year later, and he puts down a 236, to my knowledge, the largest deer in outdoor video history. Congratulations, David. What a monster buck, and what a story. There's a story of Goliath and Baby G. We felt like it was worth sharing. Hopefully you enjoyed it as much as we enjoyed the ride. What a story. You know, whitetail management has come a long, long way over the last 2 decades. If I look back to 1989 when Terry and I started Drury Outdoors, and I think of some of the choices we made back then and some of the choices we make now, man, what an evolution. If you look at the story we just watched, it's really the culmination of more than 2 decades of what we've tried to do as whitetail hunters within the industry on our own farms and the properties that we hunt. We try to manage for a higher age class of deer. It is an absolute stroke of genetic luck to have 2 deer of that caliber running around in the same neighborhood just a few years apart. It probably will never happen again, but it was pretty cool to see what I consider the crowning moment of our company's history laid out here within the 100% Wild title. I hope you enjoyed it, because it took a long time to get to that process to where we can actually grow deer of that caliber. Some of it is persistence, some of it is making the right choices as it comes to doe management and harvesting the right deer, and some of it's just a little good luck there as far as the genetics are concerned. But man, what a story. I think I'm gonna flip back and watch it one more time. I can't see it enough.
Did you get that? I'm gonna go hide the hunt bee if you want to start carrying stuff up. Okay, Miss Whitetail Knowledge. It is January 2nd of 2011, and you are taking your stab at the inner circle for the second time. She made fun of me the other day about talking too much during an interview that she was in on.
He always talks so much.
I was trying to be informative, so let's tell the viewers your thoughts on the whitetail movement tonight. What is your prediction and why?
I think the movement's gonna be great, actually, because the sun is out, it's windy, and you always say that if it's a south or southwest wind, that it's gonna be good.
You are correct. To paraphrase, or to go into a little more detail, when you have a high pressure system, inevitably, you often have a warm up behind it, and you get those 2 or 3 cold nights, and then you get that warm front hitting, just like the cold fronts. That's a front, and that first south after a bunch of norths, particularly a windy south like we have today, you can see a lot of movement. Sometimes they don't walk as early, but often as many will walk as did during the north. Sometimes it's more when they warm up, particularly this time of the year. Thermal units are important. The deer need to survive based on eating protein, carbohydrates in the corn, and then when you throw that thermal unit in there to keep them warm, sometimes these nights can be better actually than the cold front. So that's what she meant to say.
You got it.
We're running out of time. This is my second last evening to hunt in Iowa. I have to go to the ATA show, so I can hunt tonight. I can hunt one night when I get back. So we saw a lot of deer here, what Joe and I did the last time we sat, but there was snow on the ground. No snow tonight. We'll see if we have any luck. Hopefully we will.
Hopefully.
Sunset, that's always deer 30.
Good morning. Here we are at the 2011 Archery Trade Association Annual Convention.
Lovely, Tammy.
Hi.
I can't believe it. It seems like we just left. Let's take a look inside.
Let's head on in.
A lot of people, a lot different in the woods.
Yeah, we're just walking around.
Is this your first year?
Yes.
It's amazing, isn't it?
It's fun, it's huge.
Is this your first show? Is this the first time you've ever been to the archery trade show?
Yes, this is my first time.
So it's kind of amazing.
Everything with all the cameras.
Yeah.
It's pretty neat though.
Well, thanks for taking the time. Enjoy the show.
That very much.
Thanks for coming.
Nice meeting you.
Take care.
Get to meet the folks. Here's some bow stories. We've heard a few, but in a couple days we'll be back out there. Well, we're down to the final hour here. We got 2 days left in the Iowa muzzleloader season, and we'll find out whether these deer are gonna move or not. We got an east wind, so I'm gonna head back in over to the west side of the farm. I'm pretty excited. There's nothing prettier or more enjoyable than hunting in the snow. We're gonna take the hunt in most of the way and then walk the last part, nestle into our big game freestyle, and enjoy the evening. Boy, you talk about the perfect ingredients for a good night's hunt. This is it. Right now, the flakes are flying outside, and I'm hopeful that with these cold temperatures, the high today was 18, that they're gonna move to this food ahead of this front. And I think we're gonna have some fairly significant accumulations of snow. So we just got back from the ATA show. We had a fun time out there seeing everybody, but I'm glad my feet are out of that Indianapolis Convention Center and right here in this big game freestyle blind. I'm hopeful that they move. We'll find out if they do. There's no place I'd rather be. East wind overlooking 2 different long fields of beans. Hopefully we'll get some movement. I'm excited to be back in a stand. It's pretty early, don't you? That's a good early start right there. And generally it takes early movement
to get to the age class deer that we want to hunt. Early movement's generally a good thing. All right, buddy. Here we go. He's down. He went down right there, buddy. He went down in that grass. I saw him flip over, Joe. What a buck and what a season, man. We have waited and waited and waited and hunted these whitetails in this weather. And finally, a giant stepped out. We've passed some awfully good deer, but that one right there is the one we wanted. Whew. And he's down right there in that grass. Big Iowa whitetail right there. 142 yards when I ranged him. I put the Thompson center on him and I split the difference between my first BDC reticle and the crosshairs and put it on that high shoulder. I heard that bullet hit home and I think we anchored him right there. That was awesome, man. Check this wide guy out. That's a deer. I got pictures of him this summer. And I've known him for a while. I don't think I encountered him last year at all. And then this year, he really blew. He's a 5.5-year-old buck and really wide. And interestingly enough, he had a little bit of a limp to him, so I'm glad we were able to take him. He ran in there, didn't he? Boy, are they hard to find in this grass. We got him down, bud. That's awesome, man. How about a late season to remember? Roller coaster ride, man. Early on, I had my heart set on, and the plan was to go after just one particular deer. And on January the 1st, Mr. David Lindsey changed that plan. He killed a deer we called Baby G. So again, congratulations go out to David for putting the final chapter into an amazing story with Baby G. At that point, you know, we're back to what deer are we gonna try and hunt? And we just started bouncing around, looking for something that was fully mature. This particular buck is 5.5 years old, and I was sure tickled to see him walk out tonight because we have not seen a lot of really mature deer on their feet this late season. We've sat a lot of nights. We started just after Thanksgiving looking for Baby G and scouting, and we continued that pace all the way through December. And here we are now into the new year, the second last night of the season. It's January the 9th, and finally we get a buck in a shootable position. I felt good about not only getting a 5.5-year-old, but one that was injured, and you never know if they're going to recover from that or not. So I felt really good about taking this shot. Couldn't be more proud to be sitting here behind this 5.5-year-old animal. I saw him 2 years ago when he was 3.5. He walked right under us, and I haven't seen him since. So I was sure happy to see him walk out tonight. This marks the end of my Iowa season. It is January the 9th, and I'm ready for it to end just between me and you. Awesome hunt.
As this hunt began to open, I've got to ask Taylor what exactly he meant when he was talking about all that weather stuff. Taylor, I think he sometimes talks too much too. But in this particular instance, like he normally is, he was right again. And I think what he meant was weather, 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 and food, food, food. If you got the food and you're hunting there in Iowa late season, your odds are so much higher of seeing a mature animal up on his feet than it would be if it was a warmer climate and you didn't have any food left. He knew where to go. He's a very calculating individual. We nicknamed him the mad scientist for a reason, and he's usually right. There was a great deal that transpired in 100% Wild in this installment. A lot of big giants hitting the turf. And all I can tell you is that each and every year, Mark and I are enthused about trying to bring you as much information as possible with this particular series.
Because we feel as if we have a real responsibility as hunters within the outdoor industry to put our best foot forward at all times. And we don't always make the right decision. We're human, we make mistakes.
It's about learning. It's about taking our mistakes and turning a negative into a positive.
But we feel as if 100% Wild, 100% Fair Chase really is one of the best productions we've ever had. And without question, the story with Baby G and Goliath there, I mean, I said it in the interview that followed that hunt, I can't see it enough, and I can't see this DVD enough, and I can't see whitetails enough. I mean, we're just ate up with it. We sure appreciate the fact that you pulled the trigger and purchased this DVD. It means the world to us.
And we hope that this one was one of the best you've ever seen, because it took a lot of man-hours and a lot of effort, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears to get it done and put together. Like Mark and I always say, we hope you enjoy this production because it was created for you.